Oh, Amad Diallo. Oh, Amad Diallo. Welcome to the review of the game. Manchester United have just beaten Everton 4-0 at Old Trafford. That was quite nice, wasn't it, lads? Quite nice.
Finally.
Yeah. And to get 4 goals, clean sheet, brace from Zirkzee, who's been getting a lot of shit recently. Brace from Marcus Rashford, who's been under magnifying glass as well. Some really, really good individual performances, I thought. But it didn't start off like that, did it, Sam? It felt like the first 35 minutes, I want to say, Everton looked quite proactive. They was much better off the ball than us, the way they was pressing, and the scoreline doesn't reflect that first 35, does it? I suppose is what I'm saying.
No, they were really sloppy in possession in the first 35, giving the ball away a lot. Sort of mistiming things. Lissandro got caught out aggressively pushing up on someone and not getting a tackle, and they were in behind. That happened quite a bit. So yeah, it was a disjointed sort of first half. There was things where you're like, I don't like that, or things, but you sort of expect it. New system, he's rotated again, so there's different players in there again. So you still sort of getting to grips with like how things are and like developing patterns and stuff. But yeah, first 35 minutes is a bit worrying, and you think, oh, if Everton get a goal here, heads could go down, and it may not be a good afternoon for us. But luckily, braved the storm, got through it, and after that, I think we took control, and then the game was ours after that, I think.
Well, Jimmy, Amarin said there'll be 12 on the pitch today. Obviously, he was referencing the fans at the time. But it seems like Branthwaite was that 12th man because he had a bit of a fucking disaster class, didn't he? As some people put it in the chat.
I was quite impressed with like his tackling and stuff, but then he was just unlucky. He was just unlucky. It's one of those ones. But I remember the first couple of, like the first half an hour, I was like, all right, let me watch this guy, because Nick goes on about this guy all the time, and I was like, okay, let me. And I noticed he was playing on the right hand side of the defense.
Yeah, I thought he was PSV as well.
Yeah, so he's good with both feet.
And bipedal. Yeah.
Yeah, so tackling wise, like he put in a few tackles up, like early in the game. But I think it was just unlucky. Sometimes things happen, and then everyone just, I don't think it was as bad as people are making it sound. It was just some of the mistakes were kind of costly and stuff. But then, yeah, too bad, man.
Too bad for you, Jared. Yeah, I thought that was like the big red flag, Sam. The first kind of 10 minutes, I counted how many opportunities Everton had, and it was like 4, 5, 6 easy, but they just do not have a clinical player up top at all. Anyone who can who's a solid finisher. But then what changed? Do you think it was just the goal in general that changed the mood and the way we started playing?
We were playing through the middle quite a lot, and we were just getting shut out like quite often by their sort of midfield and the centre backs and stuff like that, and it just didn't seem like it was working. Passes were going astray and stuff. And then we started going wide, so there was an opportunity. Dalot down the left, and he got a ball across the box, but there was nobody there. There was another one where Ahmad cut it across, and Rashford just couldn't quite get there in time. So he started going with a width. I'm like, okay, there's something here. And then every time they went out to Dalot on that right-hand side, something happened. Like he would cause problems. He would like get at the defenders. He would get past them. Something like that would happen. And I'm like, something's going to come from Ahmad. Like he will create something. And then you saw, obviously, Civir was very unhappy the fact that he didn't get assist points for one of the goals because Bruno stole it off him. But you saw that happen. He cuts it across, and it's in the back of the net. Nice little easy sort of tap in for Zirkzee, and you're like, we're off to the races. It's good to go. And I'm really happy. Like, a lot of people be giving Zirkzee a lot of shit, sometimes rightly, sometimes I think unfairly.
Mainly us.
Well, yeah, like I know Aaron's not a big fan of his. So I want to give him time. It's still his first season and stuff like that. And I thought probably one of his better games today. Like I really enjoyed the link-up play, dropping passes. Was in the right place at the right time for 2 easy goals. It's a poaching goal, but if nobody's there, as we've seen in the past for United, nobody's been in that area to put those goals in. He was there, got the goal, so I'm well happy with it. Yeah, so I think excellent.
Yeah, one thing I know obviously Ahmad was pivotal in a lot of the things that we'd done, whether it was on the ball or off the ball as well. But it's been a habit now, Civir, when I'm watching him in games where he's pressing the defenders like aggressively and winning it high up. And then something comes from that. Like I'm sure he did it against Pauk for one of his individual goals as well, like in the Europa League. And then the past couple of games he's been doing it. Like not only obviously he gets all the merits and the plaudits on the ball, but off the ball he's equally as effective in it.
He's been doing that since last season. Like I've seen him win games. Not win games, sorry, win tackles and like steal the ball off players. He did that before the fourth goal against Liverpool. When we scored. What was it? The FA Cup? I think. Yeah. So it's things like that. But yeah, it's and I think that falls into the intensity sort of description that the manager was talking about. Like this is him in the second half, like being very, very intense. You wouldn't to think that he's a natural winger. You wouldn't see that from some of the other natural wingers. Like I don't think you see people like that pressing, and he times it well as well. So it's quite impressive what he does. And it seems to happen more often than not that he then wins the challenge. I'd like to see the stats in terms of like, the ball, the tackles that he won and stuff like that.
Well, I've got him here for you. Don't worry about that. That's why I'm a good host. No United player completed more take-ons 4, won more tackles 4, created more chances 3, or registered more assists than Ahmad today.
Only thing missing was a goal, wasn't it? Like, it's the only
Don't
thing
chat to me about that goal. I 70 quid if Ahmad would have scored, and every time he got in, I was like, oh, shoot, and they give it Zirkzee. Zirkzee scored. I'm like, fuck's sake, man, let's fucking score. That's all they needed. It would have been a United win, a clean sheet, and 70 quid in my bank. I would have like.
Chivy would have been happy he gets points for his FPL as well if Ahmad scores.
Honestly, honestly.
I would have.
But I suppose you can't have it all, can you? In that sense, I'm happy for Zirkzee because look, I've questioned the past couple of games. I watched him Fenerbahce when he came on, and then onwards from that when he made little cameos. I'm like, he just really seems out of rhythm, out of pace with it. And I know sometimes players are slow burners, and I know it takes a while. And sometimes I'm impatient myself, especially when we're not winning games. But I thought today, one thing I really liked, not just from him specifically, but how fluid it was. The movement everywhere, all over the pitch, even in the back line, it just seemed seamless where everyone was dropping in. It looked like they was instructed. It sounds bad, but it looked like they was coached and they knew where to be at the right moments. I thought that was really refreshing.
Man United.
Can I just mention something about the Zirkzee thing? I don't think it's wrong for anyone to like criticize a player for bad performances. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're not playing well, of course, you can get criticized. I think for me, one of the main issues I had a problem with was United fans always have this thing about they always want a scapegoat. There's always like a scapegoat, and if the criticism is fair across the board, then that's fine. But then I started seeing some things, and I might say a few uncomfortable things, but then it was like it was like almost everything that was happening. It was always like Zirkzee was one of the first names that was mentioned. And I understand, I think for me, like fans have their favorites. And Zirkzee kind of just it's almost like a cultural thing where he doesn't fit that cultural stereotype of a United player. And then I remember one of the videos we had, one of the people I can't remember who it was, says Zirkzee is the new Sancho, and I'm like, how does that even make sense? Like, why is he the new? They just kind of they put players in certain categories, and he looks a certain way, he plays a certain way, he's liked by a certain group of fans, so he's that sort of player. And this is what we do. Like after the Ipswich game, Full-Time Devils put out 2 videos. And on the thumbnail, and it was like, not good enough, or blah, blah, blah. And on both thumbnails, Zirkzee was in there, in both thumbnails. This is a guy who came on for 25 minutes or 20 minutes in the second half. You had Johnny Evans, Casemiro, Dalot, Ericsson, Garnacho, all played terrible. None of them featured. It was Zirkzee. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of see these things, and it really, really gets to me. Like it really, really, I don't know. It really pisses me off when I see that. And you don't see any of this stuff again about Højlund, who has played just as bad as Zirkzee. You don't see that.
But you don't see
it's Zirkzee.
You don't see it with Garnacho either. Like Garnacho
You
has
don't
been piss
online.
poor for so long, and people
Yeah.
don't criticize him. Like people don't go, "Oh, he's done this because he's a young, exciting winger. He plays the United way." So people don't say
Yeah.
anything. But he's been poor, like he has.
But he's been poor. So that's the thing. So like criticizing players for poor performances, like that's fair. It's just I just felt the need to say it because it really pisses me off when I see that, especially when there's like that whole cultural thing attached to it, and it kind of rubs me off the wrong way. But yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy he got 2 goals today. And apart from the goals, it was just the combinations, the decisions he was making, the way he brought people in. That pass to Ahmad before Rashford scored the 3rd goal was crazy from the midfield. Like how did he see that? Like it's so sometimes it's not. Yeah, it's not always about it's not always about the pace and the power and the intensity, and sometimes you just need players with a cool head that make the right decision and allow other players with that sort of with all the power and the pace to come into it.
Well,
so a lot of times you saw him, he was central a lot of the times. Without the ball, he would come in central. Yeah,
Eriksen's that guy as well. Eriksen's not quick, he's not powerful, he's not pacey, but when he gets on the ball and makes decisions, he gets everybody ticking and everybody moves and gets in it. He makes things happen, but he's not quick, he's not powerful, he's not intensity. I won't describe Eriksen as intense. So yeah, it's a similar thing. I've just seen as well, Man United won by 4-goal margin in the Premier League for the first time since August 14th, 2021 against Leeds.
Get the fuck out. What?
Mad that, innit? I heard that before. I was like
21.
Never won by a 4-goal margin, but under 10 Hag in the league, I don't think.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. it's nice, it's refreshing, and the clean sheet as well, it has to be said. I mean, Onana made a couple of decent saves. It weren't like he made loads of like mega, oh my god, saves. But he is now 6 clean sheets, top of the Golden Glove in the Prem.
How much?
Crazy.
How much is that sound?
Crazy. I think we should name this. What I'm going to do for pros and cons tomorrow, I'm going to name it Noah's Ark because you had Rashford with 2, Zirkzee with 2, Bruno Fernandes with 2 assists,
Ahmad with 2
and
assists.
Ahmad with 2 assists as well. So 2 by 2 by 2. It's called Noah's Ark. I'm copyrighting.
But how nice is it that all our attacking players are beginning to flourish now? We don't need Scott McTominay to come and score as a collective. Casemiro doesn't have to come and score again, or you don't need to. It's now the attacking players. The last game we played, it was Højlund with 2 goals. Zirkzee with Garnacho with 1. And it was just Højlund with 2 assists. Was it 2 assists? Or 1 assist?
1 assist.
One
assist.
1 assist, yeah. But just the attacking players are flourishing now. So
and Chivy, we've got options. We've got options as well. Like we can rotate and shit. Like he was bringing people off. He could bring Ugarte on. He could bring Garnacho on. You could bring people on and switch it round, and you don't have to be like, oh, he has to play because otherwise we don't score. Like no, we could bring him on. We could take him off. Mazraoui finally got some fucking rest. Thank God.
Jesus Christ,
like that dude's been playing his thing. You could take him off, and you could take different people off, and you could rest people, and it's still fine. Like it's still okay. Like that's the great thing.
That was one of the biggest positives for me when me and Trez were doing the pre-match build-up. I was looking at the bench. I was like, Mount, Højlund, Garnacho. I'm going through the full thing. I'm like, mate, this bench was unrecognisable last season. You look at the bench against Crystal Palace. Obviously, there's loads of injuries. You look at like Louis Jackson, like third.
Oh yeah, fucking Louis Jackson came on. Yeah,
Chivy's favourite player, Forsen.
Like it was just the bench in total was just fucking. You didn't know any of the players. It was like new academy players that had sprung out somewhere, and you was like, "Who the fuck's this kid?" Because we simply didn't have anyone else. But to have that much depth on there, you saw when we brought the players off, it was like they weren't necessarily a drop in quality. I mean, Maguire looked a little bit rusty, but apart from that,
but like
there was it's quality in it.
You swap Mazraoui for a fit Luke Shaw. Like that's not a downgrade, is it? Like that's a good substitution to make. You swap Casemiro for Ugarte, that's a good substitution to make when you 3-0 up.
Exactly.
Like it just makes sense.
Yeah. A couple of quotes coming in from Marcus Rashford. Actually, who's just done an interview, which is interesting because he doesn't do many interviews after a game. But he's saying the connection's going to build and grow the more we get used to him. Ruben Amorim's coming in a busy period, and hopefully the connection keeps building and growing. He's coming with a great attitude and passed it on to the players. We all as individuals want to get back to our best and then push to improve. So even in the bad moments, you are doing the right thing. It's a nice result. It's important with a new coach and a new player playing. When we are still learning, we have to back up this performance win in a midweek. We'll get onto the Arsenal game shortly, or as I like to call it, the Chivy derby.
Yeah.
But Rashford, lads.
We shout out random guy. He's just gifted 5 Real Red Talks memberships to Dayton Angus, Liam Bush, BB, Dramatic Avocado, and Andre Skeppel. Thank you so much, random guy. Appreciate you.
Can we give out 5 as well? Because I said if we won by 2 or more goals,
yeah, let's do it.
I'd gift out 5. So I'm a man of my word, as the Joker would say. Yeah.
Let's see.
There we go. And I'll go to the comments, and then we'll
dramatic Avocado.
Yeah, that's his name.
Good name, isn't it? It's a good name. Right, so the recipients of that, Tommy has received one. Lewis, random guy, has received one.
No,
so there's one back for you.
No, random guy's just putting the
Oh, he's put the emojis in. Right, okay. Liam Walker, Mark Palmer, and United We Stand. I don't know if that's the actual United We Stand, but there you go. Right, I'm going to read out some comments and then we'll talk about a couple more things. Random guys, not going to lie, we're extremely lucky to have some of these players. Diallo, Mainu, and Matsurawi would each cost 50 million. A great win with a clean sheet to top it off. I'm happy. Shout out to Zirkzee too. Diallo undoubtedly the man of the match. Yeah, that's not even a question. Not even a question. 1,000,000%. It was unbelievable. McMillan saying apparently Zirkzee's crap and can't score goals. Hang on, wait. Give him a proper system and play him as a striker. That's from McMillan. Tommy, if you are watching this and you was calling him John Walters at Stoke after 2 games, that's the message I got. After 1 game, I got a message saying he's a fucking Stoke player. He looks like John Walters. Well, don't look like him, but plays like John Walters. I was like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, fucking let him settle in. Not even got fucking kit on yet.
I won't like to be managed by Tommy. Fucking hell, you have 1 bad game and you get fucking kicked out of the club.
He's one of them as well, where once he says something, he's so fixated on it, and he'll just like. Well, anyway, he's eating some humble pie tonight. Rashford has fallen off. Hang on, give him freedom, confidence with a proper structure. Gamer TV saying talk about Zirk now. All you Zirk haters in the chat, you doubters, hold that, my striker. A lot of support for Zirkzee in the chat. Ridwan saying Man United have currently got the 2nd best defence in the Premier League. I'm not sure about that. Mate, I know what you're saying in terms of clean sheets. 13 goals conceded. Only Liverpool have conceded less. How on earth has this happened?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But we've been like dog shit.
Yeah.
Dog shit. Honestly.
Yeah. But he's made. You remember that save? Was it Crystal Palace, the double save? Was that the?
Yeah.
That was an insane fucking double save. I've never seen anything like that. And that's basically it.
Fair, yeah. If you think about it, like that is just How have we conceded less than like that doesn't make sense.
I feel like we've been battered every week under Ten Hag. That's what it feels like. I feel like we've been battered every week.
I feel like we're kind of put the trophy, this Golden Glove trophy, in a black bag and just done a runner, because I don't understand how we're in this position to have the most clean sheets in the league, because we're still, even after that win now, ninth. Are we ninth?
Yeah.
Are we in the top half of the table?
Yeah, I think we're ninth now.
Oh my God, let me have a look. We are as well. We're in the top half for the first time. It's only taken a third of the season to get ninth in the table. That is fucking crazy.
Wait, wait, hold on. That does not make sense. Well, so we've conceded less than Arsenal.
We're above Aston Villa. How are we above Villa?
Yeah, but so like clean sheets, we've had less. Well,
only
is it clean sheets or goals conceded?
Goals conceded. Only Liverpool have conceded less, apparently.
Yeah.
So Arsenal have conceded more.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Man City, all of them.
Yeah.
So Arsenal goals against is 14. United's goals against is 13. Yeah, it's true. Forest is 13. Yeah.
How many points off top 4 do we know?
So we're on 19 and Brighton have got 23, so we're 4 points off the top 4.
That's mental. That's fucking mental.
That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, if City lose today, we're 4 points off them. If they don't get a job done at Anfield, we're 4 points off City. Yeah. I know City have been bad, but I'm just saying, like,
we've been shit.
You know, we've been fucking terrible. It's madness this season.
But if City win, they'll be second. Like,
Yeah,
that's how crazy it is.
Yeah. Like for Villa now and Newcastle to be in the bottom half of the table is mad to me, because maybe not so much with Newcastle because they've been a bit shaky, but Villa, the start they had one, like, we didn't win lose one for ages. Sorry, they was top of the Champions League. People talk about Europe again, definitely, and now they're fucking 12th. You're like, this is crazy.
They beat Bayern Munich as well. Like, you thought, like, Villa beat Bayern Munich, you're like, they're gonna go on and stuff, and then they've just into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear about United in the press and hear about Villa, you would think we were like 19.
Yeah. It's just United, though, isn't it? It's one of those.
Yeah, man.
Here's a good question from random guy. Is there an award for most improved player?
Oh, no, has to be.
There should be an award, but like,
that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? To be fair,
it would be. It would be admitting though that you were shit last season, but you're good this season.
Yeah,
that's basically
like
what.
Isn't it?
Like, last season you were fucking awful, but this season you've been quite good. So here's a trophy.
Most improved. I remember, like, one of my mates when we was playing. So I think when we was in like a under 15s team or something, I got like most skillful player, and then my mate got better players or fans player of the season, whatever. And he got an award with best personality. And still to this day, I said, don't forget about that award that you won. You know what I mean? Like, it's still important.
Do you remember when Jose gave Scott McTominay a vase for the award show? Because for a player, he wanted to give him an award, and it wasn't an award, and he just grabbed the vase from like one of the tables or something and gave it to him. Yeah, that's what it was like. He's just like, fucking
best
Christ.
Personality award. I thought, oh my fucking god, I still wind him up about it to this day.
I've just looked at the league. Crystal Palace is in the relegation zone. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Going off, mate. Some of the results today. I mean, Spurs dropped points. Obviously, Villa dropped points. We touched on Newcastle dropped points. Like, all these teams, it was very, very important to get a win today. Extremely important. But like we said, lads, it's Arsenal midweek. So that's the real test. Yeah, you take the floor, Chivy, with this one. Are you looking forward to that one?
No, we're getting cooked.
You think?
Yeah.
Like, badly?
Yeah. I think it would be bad. I think, because you can't afford to be sloppy against Arsenal. Like, we played well today, but what we really capitalized on mistakes from Everton, to be fair. Like, if we're going to be,
they weren't clinical at all, was there?
Yeah, and we capitalized. Yeah, so like, we will steal the ball, and then they have a lot of mistakes. I'm not sure that the way Arsenal is playing now, they will give us that much.
I'm worried about those channels. You know, like where Ndai and McNeil, the space they were getting.
Exactly.
You give that to Saka,
Odegaard,
and these guys, and Odegaard.
Yeah,
they'll murder you. Absolutely murder you.
They will absolutely make us space. So that's the thing. But then I just hope that we kind of go a little bit more defensive, because one thing that I noticed since we've started this new system is that Sam, when you were talking earlier about trying to play through the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think we're just trying to set traps, because I think what happens is we try to go through the middle, get back, and then we go wide, and then we always
they narrow in to try and.
And that switch is always on as well.
Always, and the player always knows. So I think we're setting traps. This is why I think. But then obviously, as we go further, we would know. But then, how is it that the player always knows it? Whether it's Dalo, whether it's Ahmad, they're always on it to pick that run. And then if you watch the game, throughout the course of the game, there were so many chances that we missed when players were ready to run. Like, you could see the channel, like Zirkzee will spot the channel, or Rashford will spot it, but then the player, maybe if it was Lissandro or De Ligt, they probably didn't see it on time. But I saw so many openings. So I'm hoping that we kind of go with this with like a slightly defensive approach, and then just look to hit them with the counter. Yeah. Because that's how we've always done at Arsenal. Even when Sir Alex was there, Jose, we always hit them on the counter. We always kind of played defensive.
It's how Ten Hag beat him at Old Trafford, wasn't it? Like, that's how he did it. Like, he
not just that. Like, Amorim did it against Man City in the Champions League, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what he did.
He's shown that he's not afraid to go with maybe a bit more of a backfire, but then hit him in the pockets when you need to. I think you can. That's the thing with like a lot of people, and he stressed this in the interviews that he's done. a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a 3-4-3, it could do this, but it's not.
No.
It's flexible, man. It's all over the
Yeah.
pitch. It's flexible.
Yeah.
The reason why you have players like Ahmad and Mazraoui and these kind of guys is because they are chameleons. They can just fit in different roles seamlessly, and that's the difference.
We've got no Menu for the Arsenal game though. He's suspended.
Yeah, disappointing. I thought it was quite a different role for Menu. I thought under Ten Hag, he was, and it's not like I've got a problem with it, but I thought under Ten Hag he was a bit more expressive. He got forward a bit more. You see a bit more dribbling from him. Yeah. In this, it's a bit more measured as a central midfielder. He's. I mean, his passing was great. Not like it's thingy, but yeah, I don't know. I thought he was decent, but he worked.
I felt that as well because I think under Ten Hag he was a little bit more advanced. Most of his positioning, he was occupying more advanced positions. But I was very happy with him today because he played. He has a very. It's like he's matured. Like his game has matured so much, and he felt he was really comfortable in there, and I could tell that he enjoyed playing there. And, I think it's one of them ones where as we progress in this system, I would like to see him switch with a player like Bruno because Bruno played that age really well against Bodo Glimt, and then have Kobe go forward sometimes. It's one of those ones where he kind of like would evolve, where he could switch. But I could tell like he really enjoyed because he was calling for the ball the whole time. He was always trying to get the ball, always trying to get on the ball, spot the passes. It was a very matured display from him today, and I'm happy this is the first time playing under Amorim. And I was always not against, but I never thought I could see the chemistry between him and Ugarte when Ten Hag was here.
Yeah, because said that. He said Manu can't go forward when he plays with Casemiro, but he can with Ugarte.
Yeah, so I never thought I'd see that because I don't know if you guys remember, but I was very critical of them two to play together. But then when Ugarte came on today, I was like, okay, let me see how this works, and it was cool. It was calm, like it was calm, So yeah, hopefully, I mean, this is just game number 3 under the manager, and I think the players, if they would, as we progress, I think they would get more comfortable. They get a lot more chemistry between them. And they will know when to go forward, when to step back, that sort of thing. So, yeah, more of that, man.
Here's a question for you, Sam. Mm-hmm. How much is Ahmad worth today's market?
70, 80 million, I would say.
Depends who's buying.
Well, yeah, it depends who's buying.
I mean, when we sell, it's a fucking bag of chips and a fiver, isn't it? When we try and sell
But the thing is, you look at his contract situation, I know they're working on it.
Yeah.
At the moment, but he's only got a 1-year extension left.
Yeah,
and then it's done.
Like,
so
if we were going to buy, if he was doing what he was doing, say at Atalanta, he'd be 60-70 million money. If United if United went in for him, that's how much they'd want. If he was playing the way he is right now, that's how much they'd want. So
yeah,
I don't understand why we can't. If we were going to evaluate him, that's what he would be. So
I'm just surprised how long it's taken though for him to get into the team. I mean, I know
Maybe under Ten Hag, he didn't think he had assurances about being a first-team player because he was just
crazy though when you watch.
I know, but he wasn't, was he? He would start and then he would be out for 3 games, and then he'd start and then he'd be out for 3 games. Whereas under Amorim, he seems to be consistently getting games. So maybe now he's like, okay, under this new manager, I'm gonna get first-team football. So then maybe that's why he signs the deal in days.
But it's not like he wasn't even putting in the performances in training. Like we saw that.
Yeah,
we used to see the clips of Ahmad in training, like
Rondo, and all that kind of stuff.
That sort of thing. I just don't think Ten Hag really rates technical players. Like I think he just in his mind he just has one space for one technical in his team, and then that's it. And then everyone else is just a role.
Direct, quick wingers.
Yeah. And players like managers just have their favorites. Like look at Tuchel and Mazraoui. We're sat here wondering what happened.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, managers just have their favorite players. That's what they do.
Yeah. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. It feels like the first weekend in a while where you watch United and you're actually smiling from ear to ear about the performance and the way individuals are done. And it's an improvement and things are improving. And there's actually... Look, there's still cobwebs there. I think the first 35 minutes, if you want to really nitpick and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, there's quite a few things in there that would be concerning, especially going into that Arsenal game. But after that, when he did score the goal, it can only be positive. You've got a clean sheet. Rashford scores 2. Zirkzee scores 2. You're you know, the ones who are supplying a lot in Ahmad and Bruno get a couple of assists each. Like, you just can't complain, really.
The system is working. That's what's happening. Like, we're not getting bailed out because, you know, we used to get bailed out by, you know, Tommy or someone just bails us out. But, like, it's working now. Like,
we're at a moment, was it, that saved us? Wasn't a moment. That's the key thing.
It was consistent patterns and consistent play and consistent way of doing something until it was successful and it happened. And once it was successful, they were like, okay, this works, and they just kept going with it because all the goals were very similar. If you like look at them, they're all pretty similar goals in the way you built it up and the way the players moved and stuff. So clearly that's the pattern, the way they want to go and try and score goals, and it's working.
There was a lot of question marks as well. From not with Ahmad at wing back, but I was like, well, maybe there was a little bit because I was like, the type of player he is and how good I know he is, I want to see him further up the pitch. But actually, when you see him in that wing back role, he's got so much space. Yeah. Every time when they switched it, or you know, whoever it was, he had all the time in the world on the ball, and when he's got that kind of time, he can do what he done today. So I'm happy with him there.
Like Chivy said, though, he's a really good tackler. Like timing on his tackles, he's really good at it. So like intercepting like an Everton player when they're coming at it and getting hold of the ball high up, he's really good at it. And that's what you want from a wing back, winning the ball high up so you've got space to run into and cause damage. And he's really good at that.
Yeah,
I agree, Nick, because I also thought he was wasted. I felt like he was wasted in that wing back role. I thought he could do a lot more damage in the 10. But then when you think about it now, like if we can have that, you know, one of the other players in that 10, I mean, he's so amazing. Like what? Yeah. Let's not forget what he did in the penalty that was not given, because I thought that was a penalty. You know, when he goes towards the end of the game and he sends like 3 players to the shops. Like
that's another opportunity for me where I'm like, oh, there you go, 70 quid. And nope, no pen. I was like, okay, no worries. Because I felt Bruno would have given him that pen, you know what I mean? Like Bruno's had a couple of but, you can't have everything, can you? Support. I can't be too greedy. United have won. I'll take that for now. But I think like that Arsenal game. What is it? Would you play on Wednesday?
Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Is it?
Thursday, is it?
Thursday, I think. Let me double check. Hold on.
Is it?
Midweek, quick turnaround. It's nice to get that win because then he had the luxury of.
I know you're right. Wednesday, 8:15.
Chewy's got that scheduled, mate.
Yeah, that's the first fixture I was
yeah. Forget about all the other ones. This is the biggest day in his life right now on Wednesday.
4th. Yeah.
But I think if he can dust off those cobwebs in the first 30 minutes, asking a lot because I know they are getting used to it. And they put some legs in there and keep the players who are playing well in your Ahmads and Mazraouis. You could give them a good game at least, I think. Because Arsenal are all that. They're doing well. The past couple of games, they started to bring it back a bit. But let's not forget before that, they had lost, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, something?
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see at the Emirates as well.
I'm sorry, it's unfortunate that Kobe isn't playing, but I would have loved to see a system that has Bruno, Kobe, Mount in that same system. Somehow, however that works. I would have loved to see something like that because these are like, because what you have is you have your cultured player, good decision. Well, not Bruno, but like Mount and what's his name? Probably good decision makers. Got runners. You've got your intensity in these players. Like this is what you would have. And certain games like that, I would love to see something like that. Like however he puts them in, I'd just like to see all of them there.
Someone just put in the chat before it might be a blessing in disguise, Lissandro not being available for us.
It might be. It really might be.
It could be.
Because he's not been...
He hasn't been since the start of the season.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw is fit at the minute, and he could play that left centre.
I would play him there anyway.
So, he knows Saka very comfortable.
He knows Saka very well. That's another thing. So I think it's a massive decision to make. But if you can start him, well, who else is going to play there? You're not going to put Johnny Evans there, are you? Against defending against Saka.
It has to be.
I think it has to be Shaw. You got Shaw that side, Mazraoui the other. I think they'll probably deal with those players in inside channels. But look, we'll save ourselves for the Arsenal preview. I mean, I don't know when we're going to do that. Was Tuesday maybe or something? Maybe tomorrow. Yeah. We've got Prem predictions to do as well because we've got games kicking off on Tuesday. I think Ipswich play on Tuesday as well. So busy time, man. This festive period, everyone knows how the scripts with it. It's games come thick and fast, which is always great because I absolutely love football. And it's so even better when United are winning games. So, yeah. Are we all man of the match? I'm mad. Just to end it with, yeah?
Yeah.
Has to be, right? Perfect. I mean, I could ask people in the chat, but I'm sure you guys all agree as well. More importantly, thank you everyone there's been loads of comments, so we couldn't get through them all, but I appreciate the support as always. Nice to see so many of you as well. Please do leave a like in the video for us before you head off. I'm going to go film a couple of things, and then I'll be back for pros and cons tomorrow with a full breakdown. So big up Civir, big up Sam. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subs, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.
Peace.